Hey, welcome back. My name is Sushant Sutish, and I am your instructor for this Azure Administrator Associate AZ-104 examination course. We just finished the first module. In the second module, we are entering into governance and compliance. And in the first lesson, we're going to talk about Azure Subscriptions and Azure Accounts. Let's have a high-level view on what are the topics we are going to learn on this particular lesson. We will start off with Azure regions and different types of Azure subscriptions available, and how can you get a new Azure subscription. And once you start consuming Azure, where can you go and make sure that you are staying on top of the Azure subscription usage. Then we will dive deep into what is Azure cost management. It's a new functionality. It's pretty cool. Then we will touch base on Azure resource tag and cost saving aspect of Azure. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Microsoft Azure is made up of data centers located around the globe. These data centers are organized and made available to end users by region. A region is a geographical area on the planet containing at least one, but potentially multiple data centers that are in close proximity and networked together with a low latency network. A few examples of region are West US, Canada Central, West Europe, Australia East, Japan West, etc. Azure is generally available in 50 plus regions and available in 140 countries. There are some things you need to know about regions, all right? Azure has more global regions than any other cloud provider. Regions provide customers the flexibility and scale needed to bring applications closer to their users. And regions preserve data residency and offer comprehensive compliance and resiliency options for customers. For most Azure services, when you deploy a resource in Azure, you choose the region where you want the resource to be deployed. So let me quickly show you what do I mean by that. So now I'm on my Azure portal. For an example, if I'm going to deploy a resource, I'm going to click on create a new resource. In this instance, I'm going to deploy a Windows Server 2016 data center server. Before I deploy anything, there are a couple of mandatory things Microsoft asks. The first one is subscription, and then the resource group. We will talk about that. But particularly, one of the key requirements is region. Where would you like to host this particular workload to? So when you expand it, it gives you a recommended region based on your geographical placement. And if you select the drop-down box, this is where you can pick the closest region where you want to host this application to. This is not only relevant to virtual machine, any resources you select within Azure, be it a storage account, be it a database, anything, you have to make sure that you pick the region before you proceed further. And some services or virtual machine features are only available in certain regions, such as a specific virtual machine size or a storage type. And there are also some global Azure services that do not require you to select a region, such as a Microsoft Azure Active Directory or Microsoft Azure Traffic Manager or Azure DNS. So each region is paired with another region within the same geography, together making a region pair. The exception is Brazil South, which is paired with the region outside of its geography. A regional pair consists of two regions within the same geography. So Azure serializes platform updates and plan maintenance across regional pairs, ensuring that only one region in each pair update at a time. If an outage affects multiple regions, at least one region in each pair will be prioritized for recovery. And there are certain things you need to know about regional pairs. The first one is physical isolation. When possible, Azure prefers at least 300 miles of separation between these data centers in regional pair. Although this isn't practically possible in all geographies, a physical data center separation reduces the likelihood of natural disasters, civil unrest, power outages, or physical network outages affecting both regions at once. Then there is platform provider replication. Some services such as geo-redundant storage provide automatic replication to the paired region. In the event of a broad outage, recovery of one region is prioritized out of every pair. So applications that are deployed across paired regions are guaranteed to have one of the other regions recovered with priority. Please always make sure to go to Microsoft Docs. Latest details about Azure geography. What are the regions available? What are the announced region? And where you can find the availability zone. I'm not sure whether you are aware of it. I live in New Zealand. So we are going to have an Azure data center coming soon close to us. So we don't know the date yet, but this is where you can come and have a look at places where Microsoft announced a new data center. As you can see that there is Israel Center, Poland Central, Spain Central, and Mexico Central. These are all the places where Microsoft is going to have a latest data center. Now that we have learned about Azure regions and what are the difference between regions and regional pair, let's go and talk about Azure subscriptions. An Azure subscription is a logical unit of Azure services that is linked to an Azure account. Billing for Azure services is done on a per subscription basis. If your account is the only account associated with the subscription, then you are responsible for billing. So let me quickly show you where you can find the Azure subscription within your Azure portal. So I'm on my Azure portal. On the left-hand side, this is where you can find the subscription, or you can type in subscription and select subscription. This takes you to the subscription area. And if you do happen to have access to multiple subscription, you would be able to see multiple subscriptions over here. So I'm going to select a subscription, and this is where you can see all the details about a subscription. Subscription help you organize access to cloud service resources. They also help you control how resource usage is reported, billed, and paid for. Each subscription can have different billing and payment setup. So you can have different subscription and different plans by department, project, regional office, and so on. And every cloud service belongs to a subscription. And the subscription ID may be required for programmatic operations. And let's learn about how can you get an Azure subscription. There are several ways to get an Azure subscription: enterprise agreement, Microsoft resellers, Microsoft partners, and a personal free account. So let's talk about an enterprise account. Enterprise agreement customers can add Azure to their agreement by making an upfront monetary commitment to Azure. That commitment is consumed throughout the year by using any combination of the wide variety of cloud services Azure offers from its global data centers. Enterprise agreements have a 99.95 monthly SLA. Another way to get an Azure subscription is to contact an Azure reseller. You can purchase Azure through an open licensing program, which provides a simple and flexible way to purchase Microsoft Cloud services. Next option is to get Azure via a partner. So you can find a partner who can design and implement your Azure cloud solution. These partners have the business and technology expertise to recommend solutions that meet unique need for your business. And finally, you can use a free account to start your first Azure free account. So let me show you how you can do that. So with Azure free trial account, you can get started with Azure right away and you won't be charged until you choose to upgrade. So you can go to this website and you can create your Azure free account today. For the first month, you get close to $310 based on where you live. And after the first month, you get to use a lot of free services for another 12 more months. So you can get all the details on this web page. And if you're interested to find out which products are free for rest of the 12 months, these are the products which is listed over here are free. As you can see that you have a Linux virtual machine, you can use a Windows compute machine, a managed disk, a database, a file storage. This is plenty enough for you to start your Azure journey for testing something or using Azure to learn for yourself. This is exactly how I started my Azure journey. Let's understand some of the ways you can monitor the Azure subscription usage. Azure offers free and paid subscription options to suit different needs and requirements. Some of the most common subscriptions are free, pay-as-you-go, enterprise, and student. An Azure free subscription includes a $200 credit to spend on any service for the first 30 days and free access to the most popular Azure products for 12 months and access to more than 25 products that are always free. This is an excellent way for a new user to get started. Please note that a credit card information is used to identify verification only, and you won't be charged for any services until you upgrade. The second option is Azure pay-as-you-go subscription model. A pay-as-you-go subscription charges you monthly for the services you used in that billing period. This subscription type is appropriate for a wide range of users, from individuals to small businesses and many large organizations as well. Third type is an Azure Enterprise Agreement. An Azure Enterprise Agreement provides flexibility to buy cloud services and software licenses under one agreement, with discounts for new licenses and software assurance. It's targeted at an enterprise scale organizations. And the last one is student subscription. An Azure student subscription includes $100 USD in Azure credits to be used within the first 12 months, plus selected free Azure services without requiring a credit card at sign up. So to get that Azure for Student subscription, you must verify your student status through your organizational email address. So let's learn about how can you manage cost within your subscription. With Azure products and services, you only pay for what you use. As you create and use Azure services, you are charged for user resources. You use Azure cost management and billing features to conduct billing administrative tasks and manage billing access to cost. You can also use cost management for monitoring and control Azure spending and to optimize Azure resource usage. So let me quickly take you through the Azure portal to show you where you can find the cost management option. So I'm on my Azure portal. You can go to the global search box and type in cost management. Cost management shows organizational cost and usage patterns with advanced analytics. Reports in cost management shows the usage-based cost consumed by Azure services and third-party marketplace offerings. These costs are based on negotiated price and factors in reservations and Azure hybrid usage benefit discounts. Collectively, the report shows your internal and external cost of usage and Azure marketplace charges. Other charges such as reservation purchases, support, and taxes are not yet shown in these reports. On top of this analysis, you can set up cost alerts. This is where you can place alerts so that it alerts you on when you reach a particular threshold. You can define a budget. You get notified if you are nearing your budgeted allocation. Then there is an inbuilt Azure Advisor recommendation as well. This is where you get recommendation to reduce cost on your Azure workloads. There are multiple ways cost management help you plan for and control your cost, including cost analysis, budgets, recommendation, and exporting cost management data. So let me take you through. So let me give you a high-level overview on what you can do. You can use cost analysis to explore and analyze your organizational cost. You can view aggregated cost by organization to understand where these costs are accrued and to identify spending trends. And you can see accumulated cost over time to estimate monthly, quarterly, or even yearly cost trends against a budget. Like I showed you, you can set up budgets as well. These budgets help you plan for and meet financial accountability within your organization. They help prevent cost thresholds or limit from being surpassed. And budgets can also help you inform others about their spending to proactively manage cost. And with them, you can see how spending progresses over time. Then there is Azure Advisor recommendations as well. These recommendations show how you can optimize and improve efficiency by identifying idle and underutilized resources. Or they can show less expensive resource options as well. When you act on these recommendations, you change the way you use the resources to save money. To act, you first view cost optimization recommendation to view potential usage in. To act, you first view the cost optimization recommendation to view potential usage inefficiencies. Next, you act on recommendation to modify your Azure resource use to more cost-effective option. Then you verify the action to make sure that the changes you make. Then you verify the action to make sure that the change you make is successful. And finally, how can you export the cost management data? If you use external systems to access or review the cost management data, you can easily export the data from Azure. And you can set a daily scheduled export in CSV format and store the data files in Azure storage. Then you can access the data from your external systems. Let's understand resource tagging. You can apply tags to your Azure resources to logically organize them by categories. Each tag consists of a name and a value. For example, you can apply the name environment and value as production or development to your resources. After creating your tags, you associate them with the appropriate resource. So let me quickly show you where you would be able to find tags and how can you apply a tag on a particular Azure resource. I'm on my Azure portal. You can use the global search box to type and find tags. If you have any tags configured, you can find all the tags in one single place. But if you are trying to figure out how are you going to add a tag to an existing resource, I'm going to quickly show you how you can do that. So I'm going to go back to my virtual machines. As you can see that I have 3 virtual machines laid out. I want to select the first virtual machine, which is my Active Directory. On the left hand side, right under the access control IAM, I can find the tag. So there is no tag available at the moment, so I can create a new tag. So I created a name called virtual machine as the name of the tag and the value as project X. And I hit save. So the next time, if I would like to pull all the resources related to project X, I can simply select the value and pull the details as well. So I'm going to go back to my home, select tags, and I can see that there is new tag value as well. So I select the tag. It is going to list me all the resources. I can select the virtual machine project X. It is going to display all the resources where I have tagged as project X. So with tags in place, you can retrieve all the resources in your subscription with that tag name and value. This means that you can retrieve related resources from different resource group as well. Perhaps one of the best use of tags is the group billing data. When you download the usage CSV for the services, the tags appear in the tag column. You could then group the virtual machine by cost center and production environment. There are few things to consider about tagging. Each resource or resource group can have a maximum of 50 tag name or value pair. Tags applied to resource group are not inherited by the resources in that resource group. So please keep those in mind. All right, so let's look at some of the cost savings you can do on Azure. The first one is Azure reservations. Azure reservations help you save money by prepaying for 1 year or 3 years of virtual machine, SQL database compute capacity, or Azure Cosmos DB throughput. Prepaying allows you to get a discount on the resources you use. These reservations can significantly reduce your virtual machine, SQL database compute, and Azure Cosmos DB resource cost up to 72% on your pay-as-you-go pricing. And these reservations provide a billing discount and doesn't affect the runtime state of your resources. Another way to significantly reduce the cost is by leveraging Azure Hybrid Benefits. Azure Hybrid Benefit is a pricing benefit for customers who have licenses with software assurance, which helps maximize the value of existing on-premises Windows Server and SQL Server licensing investment when migrating to Azure. There is an Azure Hybrid Benefit Saving Calculator to help you determine your savings. So let me quickly show you where you can find that. So I'm going to go to Azure Pricing Calculator. So under Azure Pricing Calculator, I'm going to quickly show you an example where you can see the reservations and the hybrid usage benefit. I select a virtual machine. Under virtual machine, I'm going to first pick a region where I would like to host this virtual machine. I'm going to select Australia East. The operating system, I'm going to keep it as Windows. Just the operating system is only thing I need right now. Standard tier. And this is where I can pick up any type of virtual machine of my choice. So I'm going to go with DS13 V2, which gives me 2 core and 56 GB RAM. And I'm going to run 24/7 for a month. Pay-as-you-go pricing for this virtual machine is close to $863. Now on the left-hand side, you can see that there is license included and Azure Hybrid Usage Benefit. So if you want to know how to reduce the pricing, if you happen to have a Windows Server subscription, or if you have an on-premises license with this software assurance included, you select Azure Hybrid Benefit. As you can see now, the price suddenly dropped from $863 to $583. This is how you can reduce the cost of your licensing by using Azure Hybrid Usage Benefit. The next thing is reserving your compute for 1 or 3 years. So we talked about Azure reservation. So if you reserve the compute for 1 year, if you notice, the price will drop down from 582 to 371 because you are paying Microsoft upfront, and Microsoft is giving you a huge discount on this compute instance. The second option is I'm going to apply 3-year reserved instance. As you notice, right now we have bring down the cost of the virtual machine from 862 to 244. That's how you can significantly reduce the cost of Azure by leveraging multiple components like Azure reservations or Azure hybrid benefits. Now we talked about these two concepts, let's understand what is Azure credits. Azure credits is monthly credit benefit that allow you to experiment with, develop and test new solutions on Azure. For example, as a Visual Studio subscriber, you can use Microsoft Azure at no extra charge. With your monthly Azure credit, Azure is your personal sandbox for dev test. Another way of saving some cost is choosing the right regions. Azure regions pricing can vary from one region to another. Double check the pricing in various regions to see if you can save a little. Alright, so that brings us to the conclusion of the first lesson from the module 2. We learned about Azure subscriptions and different types of Azure accounts you can use. In the next video, we're going to talk about Azure policy. So I will see you on the next one. Till then, take care.